Good afternoon. It's March 24th, 2023, and here's what we're looking at for today. Really a range day, but we spent the whole day chopping around with an upward bias, and towards the end of the day, it was an uptrend. Um, Ended up being a bullish day on the daily chart. You can see we closed pretty much at our high, and uh, so it was a very choppy day, though. Prices flip flopping on both sides of the EMA. Not a very easy, easy to trade. But we'll take a look at these trades and close up for the weekend. So in the overnight, it looked like we had this spike and channel down. You get a break and then it just goes sideways. I think 5 a.m. Okay, so this is 5:50. 5 a.m. 5 a.m. comes as we're bottoming out, and that's a new low from this channel. Uh, so you could maybe you look at this as a double bottom, and first entry failed, second entry, but it doesn't really set up well. And then perhaps you look at this as a second entry long, but it doesn't. It really it's not a second entry long, but it kind of looks like it. It is off the key entry point, but you're going right into that midline. So maybe consider that. Um, but if you draw this range, this pink range that I have, that's right at the midline, so you probably don't want to take that. Apparently, some people liked it. It went higher. You get a first entry, second entry. I didn't see this. I mean, it's a nice little trap right there. But you could, that's an overshoot, so you should be able to see that to stay away from that. And then we shoot up, so we have a break, move to a new high, and that isn't a lower high, but it's a matching high and a lot of room back to the EMA. So I like that trade. And you can see plenty of other people like that trade. And then that's right at the open. So we make that leg down, then we go sideways before making another couple of legs down. So this looks like a failed second entry long, but it also kind of looks like a second entry short too. So you might take that. Only problem is all these stems. I don't really like that, and it's going right into this midline. So not the greatest setup, not the most ideal, but there's definitely reasons to like that. And you might be looking for a measure move. Okay, so we already hit that measure move. That's another reason to not like that. I remember drawing that earlier. Um, so anyway, we make a new low and we bounce at that level of support before reversing, and this looks like kind of like a hidden reversal, but it's three inside bars and a couple of dojis, so we're going sideways for the most part anyway, so that's just not, you can't take that. Get a close outside here and a couple legs up to a new high, and then we start going sideways again. No setups in here. Sideways overlap, lots of dojis. Looks like I might have moved this a little bit. And you can see this midline on this like upward chopping range. You can see this midline responding pretty early on, but it's hard to really tell where the highs are because uh, the highs were really all over the place. But anyway, right here, shoots up, tests that midline of the overnight range. I think this kind of looks like a failure, but it doesn't set up for us. Break of this channel, move to a new low, and then it reverses, but we don't get a setup. Close outside, two legs up to a new high. I don't think you can take that. Unfortunately, because we're making higher highs and higher lows, but that looks pretty tempting. Very bearish bar. Let me get these measured moves out of the way. Very bearish bar, and you might even consider this one with room back to the EMA. But if you're patient, you get a failure, and I think you can take that. That's off the key entry point. That confirms that trend channel, and I mean we're just chopping on both sides of the EMA. So you know you might take that. Only problem is that these closes above the EMA, but your signal bar doesn't close above the EMA. So something to think about. I actually missed this second entry short. I'm going to mark that as green because, I mean, like, I'm playing this more of a range, trying to get entries to go short up here and long up down here. So it is a second entry short off the trend channel, though. But look at all these dojis in here. Anyway, we keep going sideways. That looks to me like the first break. So we get a couple legs up of correction, and then you just get a sell-off. So right here, I guess you would have that like this. So it looks like we just come short of two perfect measured legs of correction. So it's tempting to go short on this. You get that. I think that's a double top. Okay, so no, I think this one ticks a little bit higher, but there's so much room back to the EMA. So much room back to the EMA here. And this one tried to go lower, so it kind of looks like a second entry short. And we're expecting a new low based off this channel, or for this channel, I mean. And a lot of people like that setup. Comes down, tests this support a few times, chopping sideways, and we get confirmation of the trend channel right here. Go up to the top of the channel, you get a first entry, second entry, bullish bar near the lows of this range. So I think it's worth it. You can see a lot of people like that. And for whatever reason, it rocketed up here, probably just because people realized it's a range. And we come up here, and I meant to mark this as green, I think. After that bullish move, we did get a close outside and a new high right here, but you might consider this. I mean, technically, first entry, second entry when it breaks above this bar, and it's a double test right there. So I marked it green, and I would feel pretty confident that it would test these highs. If not the highs, then this level at these closes. So it makes two legs up before selling off. And technically, this is a failure right here. So I like that. Ride it to the other side of this. Hopefully, this flatter channel turns out to be a more steeper channel. Yes, we get a close outside, move to a new low, and then we just start chopping upwards. And you get what looks like a second entry long. I marked this blue because it's off the key entry point and the EMA. Probably should mark it green because that's technically a new high right there. But you know, I mean, the bias is up, so you might take that. And this kind of looks like a repeat of this. We have this choppy upward channel, and then it rockets up. Same thing right here. And then when it does rocket up and you get that overshoot, and we come back and we bounce, and you get this. This just looks like a trap. It feels like a trap in real time. I had my highs for this channel, I think, like right here earlier, which you can see the midline. You know, its prices are responding to that midline. Eventually, I had it, I think, to there, Well, you can see if you drag it here, we get a touch right there and a touch right there. So I think that's where I had it, which is why I liked it so much in real time. And that's a second entry short, or it looks, actually it's not first entry, second entry, third entry, but it looks like a second entry short. You could argue for it to be a double test. I just like it. A lot of room back to the EMA, and that gets you back to the EMA pretty quickly. And really, we're just chopping around. After the overshoot, it leads to a break, and then you get some more choppy upward stuff. And the midline is holding prices. The midline of this, what is that, a khaki channel? And we get a sell-off. I don't think you want to go short here, just because it's very clear that the bias is up at this point. But when you get this second entry and then matching lows and a pretty bullish bar with room back to the EMA, and I think that's confirmation of the trend channel. Oh no, that's not confirmation of the trend channel, but I just liked it because at that point, because of all that room back to the EMA. So, yeah, 6 ticks back to the EMA. And then we have this channel up, and you get a second entry long right here, but look, we have a doji there, this is a doji, that's a doji, that's a doji. So you have a lot of dojis in there at an important level of resistance, and it's near the highs. So that's one reason you would want to stay out of that. Another reason is more people, instead of playing this channel, more people could be playing this yellow channel, and we have a break and a move to a new high. So there's a few reasons to stay out of that. And we're just chopping, going sideways. I didn't look at this, but I mean, this looks like it's on the lower side, so you might consider one of these. Not crazy about that. It's very congestive, and it looks like you'd be going into the midline of a range like that. So not crazy about that, but you might consider one of these. And that's a big move up, and that's the second entry, and then you get an outside bar. So that's really all there is today. So I hope everyone had a great day. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday.